Yeah, guess you can't guess what that is. Pork breakfast sausages. And I made it myself from ground pork. And I even went a little step further and I took trimmings from a pork butt, put it in my grinder, ground it up, added all the seasonings, shaped it out. Pork sausages. Yes. What often happens with the trim from barbecue competitions is some people throw it away just because it becomes so cumbersome and so much. And sometimes when I have enough time, I do set it aside so that I could grind it later or grind it now and make varying things. Anything from ground pork for pork wraps, sausages and casings or sausage patties, chili, pork chili's good, chili verde made with pork, all sorts of different things. Anything you can do with ground pork, you can use the trimmings from a pork butt, grind it up, and get the pony on the road. Anyway, let's do this. Let's make some breakfast sausages. I have here about 6 pounds of cubed and chunked pork butt from the trim I had of 4 pork butts this morning. And I put them in the freezer so that they would get fairly hard, so that going through the grinder, it gets very hot, and being hard, it keeps it a little cooler in there. In addition, it makes it grind better because the fat is more congealed. So let's go and do some grinding. So all the pork butt is now ground, and we're ready to go on to the next step, and that's mixing our seasoning mixes in this pork butt to make our sausages. For our seasoning mixes, I have a number of ingredients, starting here with freshly ground nutmeg. Here I have some onion powder. It's about a tablespoon, about 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of white pepper. Here I have rosemary, and this is about a tablespoon of dried rosemary. Then I have thyme, that's about a tablespoon of thyme, a tablespoon of sage, a tablespoon of red pepper, a tablespoon of parsley, about 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds, and about 1 teaspoonful of coriander. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these larger dried herbs and I'm going to grind them, a coarse grind, so they won't be big pieces in the sausage. See, I have a coarse grind on the dried herbs. Then I've also mixed together all the other seasonings, and then we're going to combine those to make a seasoning mix. This is probably about enough seasoning mix to make 8 to 10 pounds of ground pork. I have about 6, so I'm going to go with about a little over half of the seasoning mix and see what we get. Now I've combined the seasoning mix, and we'll get that all blended and ready to mix in our ground pork to make breakfast sausage. This is our seasoning mix, which we're going to be adding to our 6 pounds of ground pork. noting that this is probably enough for 8 to 10 pounds. So therefore, I'm only going to use maybe a little more than a half of it. When we come back, I'll have my ground pork ready. We'll mix that together. Hey, Sylve Curry again, Lady of Q. We are in my kitchen. I would like to encourage you to hit that subscribe button, push like, make some comments, let me know what you think about this channel, what you want more of, what you want less of. I cook all things food. My primary focus is in barbecue, competition barbecue, but I do a lot of diverse type cooking, from Asian to Hispanic to country, soul food, French, whatever you got, Caribbean. I cook it all, and I love cooking, and I want you to join me and enjoy my enthusiasm for food. We're back again. I have my ground pork, which was in the refrigerator, chilling. I've got my seasoning blend, and I measured out, it's a total of 8 tablespoons of blend. So I'm going to use 6 tablespoons in this mixture for this 6 pounds of pork butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's no better way to get in here and mix this up than my gloved hands. Then what we're going to do, we're going to mix this up, get it blended really well, and then we're going to put it back in the refrigerator overnight so those seasonings can blend in and get themselves all throughout the meat. Now, one of the other things we could do, we could take a section of this meat and make a little patty and taste it and see what it tastes like. However, the problem is that it hasn't had a chance to blend yet, so we won't get the full effect of what it tastes like or what it will taste like tomorrow morning. So I'll be back tomorrow and I'll show you what we got. We'll do a taste test of one little patty, and then we'll make all the rest of the sausages and get them ready for storage. We're back again, and our ground pork had a chance to sit in the refrigerator overnight, so I'm pretty assured that the seasonings have blended. I'm going to take a small amount and we're going to make sort of like the size of a breakfast patty. And I'm going to cook this and see how the flavors are. Do I need to add more salt or some other seasoning? Are we good to go? So we've got our sausage patty that we're going to test out the seasoning blend. Here's our sausage patty for testing out the seasoning blend before we proceed with making all the rest of the patties. Our taster sausage is nearly done. So I can cut this. It's quite hot. I think it's good. So now we're going to finish the process of processing our sausages for breakfast sausage. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make rolls so that you can slice them into patties. And we'll be able to take out a roll as we need them, or as we have friends come over who I want to give them to, or whatever. Yep, actually it's quite good, very good. That it's going to come out the size that I want it to be. Just sort of tighten it up. I guess it's similar to making a burrito. Sort of tighten inside there so we have nice even slices when we slice it. There we go. There you have it. Breakfast sausage by Sylve Curry in my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much, and please come back and see what else I have going on. Sylve Curry back with her sausage rolls. After I finished making all the sausage rolls, I actually came up with 6 of 1 pound, approximately 1 pound each packages. Some a little larger, some a little smaller. But so the recipe with 6 pounds of ground pork ground up with all these seasonings and herbs mixed together, rolled to make sausages that you can slice, fry up, serve to your family and friends. And once again, this is Sylve Curry, Lady of Q, and I was in my kitchen. Please come back again. Thank you.